Why hello everybody, Spencer here, also known as Lego Dude 11, and in today's video, this is my top 10 movies of 2023 list. I've been so pumped to make this list for you. I have seen all the movies I've wanted to this year, and with that said, I am going to be sharing with you my top 10 movies. Again, this is just my list, it's subjective, but these are my own opinions, so let's kick off my top 10 movies of 2023 right now. So without further ado, let's discuss. Okay, so before we get started with the actual list here, the 10 I have on my laptop I'm looking at, I do want to mention some honorable mentions before we get started. And those 4 honorable mentions are, I made a little bit of a list here. 4 honorable mentions are The Marvels. No, in no particular order, we have The Marvels, Air, Barbie, and the Super Mario Brothers movie. Now, the Super Mario Brothers movie was so close to being on my top 10. It was like the entire year it was on my list, and then it got bumped off because I saw some other movies, so that's that. And the Marvel Air, I know people are loving Air, but it just didn't make the cut for me. I do apologize. And the Marvels, I did have lots of fun with. I had lots of me and my friends went to see the Marvels, and I enjoyed it more than I thought I was going to. And nowhere in this list on my top 10 or honorable mentions is Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, which was on my most anticipated of the year. That was a fart in the wind. And then Barbie, I had lots of fun with as well. My friend that I went and saw it with, he's kind of like, but I like Barbie. Alright, with the honorable mentions out of the way, number 10 is going to be the film called Past Lives. Now, I am sure for all of you watching, you have no idea what this film is. And this was actually, I shouldn't say recommended to me, but it was, well, I guess it was recommended to me, but not personally. It was, I watched a YouTube video of Austin Burke, and he recommended this film. It was in his top 10 film, or I think it was, no, I was going to say it was August movie. It was, I don't know when it came out. But it was in his, like, top 10 movies of the half of the year, like, at the beginning. So I'm like, okay, I'll check it out. So if he really recommends it, like it's in his top 10 of the first half of the year, I better put this in I better watch it. So I watched it, and this is a great film. It's like it's a foreign film love story. But don't go into it thinking it's all in a completely different language, because you start watching it, and I believe, I don't remember the language it is, but you start watching it, it's a different language. Japanese? I believe it's Japanese. Or Chinese, one of the two. And there's dialogue, it's a great romantic film, and again, like, it's a foreign film, but you're engrossed in the story, and you want to see if they're going to connect with each other. Basically, these two young Japanese kids, I believe, fall in love, or are with friends for a long time. They separate for a long time, 7-8 years, and then they reunite, and they come back, and they are like in love, and they have like this connection, like distance. It's like a long distance type of thing. It's beautiful. I love the story. And again, there's a moment where it's English and the other language, and it's on closed captions, but I love this movie. It's on number 10. I don't hate it by any means. I mean, it's just the fact it's at number 10, but it made it into my top 10. I love it a lot. Past Lives, be sure you check this one out. That's at number 10. Number 9 is Killers of the Flower Moon. And this is a toughie. Not a toughie to put on the list, but a toughie to recommend, because I saw this. This movie is incredible. I remember last year at Avatar, I did not go to the bathroom once, which was 3 hours. And this is almost 3.5 hours long. This movie is like 3 hours and 20 minutes, excluding credits. And I stayed through it without going to the bathroom. But people aren't going to go see a movie in theaters this long. And, people are like, I want an intermission. But it's so good. It's good. It's not like entertaining like the Marvels, or like a Marvel movie, or like action-packed movie. But Martin Scorsese, what he does here, I haven't seen many of his movies, but I need to watch Wolf of Wall Street next. But what he does in his directing is fantastic. So going into this, there's one of my favorite moments in cinematic history that I've seen in a long time, which is just this shot of like fire, like out of the window, and you see like the silhouettes and the fire like beating outside. It's so incredible. And the story here is great with the natives, and then how they work with the oil industry, and this murder mystery type thing. I liked it. Well, not murder mystery, but the who did these murders, who done it, but anyway, Killers of the Flower Moon, highly recommend if you have the patience to sit through a 3-hour movie. You can get up, like I don't know how much longer it's going to be in theaters, but you can get up and do your thing. But anyway, I recommend Killers of the Flower Moon for you. Next up, number 8 is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, and this was one that was not on my radar at all. And I have to be completely honest with you. Completely honest. I am not the biggest Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan. But watching the trailer for this movie, I was like, man, this looks really fun. Like, right up my alley. And after watching, well, I won't tell you. But you know, the other animated movie that came out this year, I was like, man, I gotta watch this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. So I watched it. I was thoroughly surprised. I actually watched it twice. I love watching movies and shows on repeat, but this movie I had to watch it twice because the first time I watched it in my dorm, it was like really like choppy, like the frame rate, and I was like, what is happening? It's just in the second half, like I watched, like, the final battle was very choppy. I'm like, what is going on? So I had to watch it again. But I love this movie. The animation's gorgeous. The turtle relationship is beautiful with the kid voices. The dad relationship with Splinter is great. And I just love this movie, man. It does something in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles era that I didn't know was possible, because growing up, I watched some of the Nickelodeon show, and then the Michael Bay movies were just beyond atrocious. And then people love the black and white version of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I've never watched that, but I know it's like gorgeous and well animated. But this is a great adaptation for kids, entry level kids for kids as an entry level, and I just think it's well done. And by the way, I forgot to mention, no spoilers here if you do want to hear them. The ending, or I made a review, I believe, about it, but the end battle, like the way the animation's done on the villain, is so unique and sometimes disturbing, but way better to look at than the SpongeBob Cronenberg. So just a little bit of a heads up if you're like, ew, it's freaky. It's not as freaky as it could be in other things. So I love the design of how the creation and everything they made. All right, that's number 8, and number 7 is Joyride. Now, this is another film that you guys may not know about. It's not a foreign film, but it's a... Words don't come to me easily, guys. I don't know how to phrase this. It's a Asian rom-com, okay? It's not a foreign film by any stretch of the imagination. It's just a comedy. It's a rom-com. Think of it as, I'm trying to figure out how to describe this. It's more like, it's like 4 girls. I can't think of what description I'm trying to think of, but it's 4 girls go on a trip and do like cocaine, naughty, juicy, raunchy stuff. It's super over the top. It's rated R. And I know you guys might be thinking, why are you recommending this film on this channel? Well, I'm sorry. I love this film. It's so crazy. It's so bonkers. It's so over the top. I do recommend it, but by the way, if you're a kid watching this, I don't think that you should be watching it. But I watched it, and I knew I had to incorporate it in my top 10 of the year because I laughed my butt off. From beginning to end, I had a smile on my face. With, again, all of these films, I had a smile on my face, but this one was no exception because it's comedy, made me laugh. I do like the people inside of it. The girl from Everything Everywhere All at Once, Elizabeth Yu, I think is her name, is in it. I have to look up the cast real quickly. Ashley Park is the main. So Stephanie Hsu, Sabrina Wu, and Cherry Cola. Again, just the 4 main actresses are great. David Denman, who plays Roy in The Office, is in it as well. So I love that he's in it. Gets a little screen time. And yeah, Joyride, definitely a fun comedy this year. I hope it wins Best Comedy at the Oscars, but if it doesn't, I don't know what else is out there this year. But anyway, that's number 7. Kicking off number 6 spot. This is not a tricky one, just a unique one for me because I actually have 2 here. And I know what you guys might be saying. 2, isn't this your top 10 of the year? Well, it is. But I had to include both of these at a tie because I couldn't do this. This is my horror honorable my horror spot, and Evil Dead Rise is the one I was going for, but my honorable mention for the other horror movie that came out this year was Talk to Me, and I'm going to talk about Talk to Me first. So Talk to Me is this one where there's this demonic hand, or severed demonic hand, and they pick it up, or hold on to it, and then say, talk to me, and they basically become the demon that is there. And throughout the film, there's just like this mystery element, like what is going on, what is the hand, what does it do, and like why does it take over your soul, and who are you, like when you hold on to the hand, who are you becoming and speaking out in like that soul vibe. So it's really quite unique, and then at the end of the film, there's this whole twist with the main character that her brother is, I think it was her brother is taken over by the hand, and like just beaten up to shreds, almost, and has to go to the hospital. So, and at the end, then the main character, this girl, kills herself and becomes the soul of the hand. Now, if you haven't seen the film, I haven't talked about it on my channel, but the twist is so out there, like I didn't even see it coming, and I was like, that's whoa, and I was not ready for that, and it's kind of dark, and it's kind of like surprising in the same way, like wow, like watch it again through a new lens, wow. So that's Talk to Me, and Evil Dead Rise is definitely like the pick I would pick more over Talk to Me, but this one, I'm a big Evil Dead fan. I didn't grow up watching the movies, like I didn't grow up in the era that they came out, but this film, like I watched the 2013 version. Oh man, that's a ride. Oh man, this is an even bigger ride. And it has just bigger gore, bigger kills. I don't know, bigger thrills, I guess is the word I'm looking for. But it's just, man, but yeah, Evil Dead Rise, there's this like whole blood elevator scene. There's just great moments of like this doing this and all the stuff, like great moments. Love the Evil Dead references from like the first one. There's great like eye torture or eye violence, and it's just like the glass scene is the best thing about this movie. I love this, and the creepy sounds, all of it, man. I was digging it, and this is a great movie to watch. I mean, it came out like in April, so I'm like, this is something great, creepy wise. And then watching it back again in Halloween time, I'm just like, I love this so much, loved it so much. But that's my horror spot at number 6. Number 5, kicking off top 5, is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Now, I was going to say, I think some people might actually have this lower. I don't know where this falls on people's lists, but for me, it sits right in the middle. I loved this movie. This is my favorite. I go back and forth. It's a hard mix in the Guardians trilogy because the music is different than the first two. James Gunn was departed from Disney for a while, so he used the composer from his Suicide Squad film on this, so it feels like a departure from the first two Guardians films, yet the same cast. So it's just so different and weird. And I know some people might be like, I didn't even notice and I really didn't care. But as a viewer, avid watcher of Marvel, and as an avid moviegoer, I can recognize, wait a minute, you didn't use the same composer, you don't have, the editing, it's not so much the editing, but it's just different. So, anyway, that doesn't make the film bad, it just makes it a little bit different as a congruency to the Guardians trilogy itself. So, that's hard. But, I love the story here. It's very emotional with the Rocket story. I cried. I think I cried more in this one than I did the first two. But definitely James Gunn loves to use that, like with Groot he did in the first one, and Yondu as he did in the second one, and this one we have Rocket. And people are saying that the first one was more like the mom story with Peter Quill, the second one was Peter Quill with the dad storyline, and this one is like the mom and the dad, like the parents, and like Peter Quill and Gamora. By the way, I didn't really like the Gamora situation because it kind of was just like, she has to be there to be there. But you can go watch my review if you'd like for that, more of that about that. But yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, very emotional ending. Don't know if we'll see them again. Love the characters, love the movie, but it's like, where do we go from here? Now, if this is a send off forever, but the way they do it in the end credit scene is like, we're gonna have another mission. Don't know if we'll see them again, but I love the movie. Think it's great. All of the battles, all of the cinematography, the way James Gunn directs it, loved it a lot. That comes in at number 5. Number 4 is Oppenheimer. And actually, some of you might be surprised I don't have a Marvel movie above that. But I actually have Oppenheimer above this. I watched Oppenheimer along with my friend before I left for college. This and Barbie, the Barbenheimer thing were the last 2 movies I saw with him before we saw the Marvels. But I love this movie. Christopher Nolan, what he does with it. I love what he does way more than Martin Scorsese. And by the way, Killers of the Flower Moon I liked, but this one was higher. So this barely had any effects in it. The explosion, the build-up was great to the explosion. The bomb testing, the music, the stomping. Like I said in the film, the stomping was amazing. The music by Ludwig Göransson, chef's kiss in this film. The casting is star-studded. It's like full 20 or so people. We got Florence Pugh, we have Emily Blunt, we have Matt Damon, we have Cillian Murphy, we have Dane DeHaan, we have Willem Dafoe. Do we have Willem Dafoe in it? I don't even remember. We had Robert Downey Jr. We have Adrian Brody, the guy who plays Solo in the Solo Star Wars story. We have Roderick from Roderick Rules, Johnny Depp. I'm like, everybody in this film, it's incredible. And it's like, I just can't get over the cast, the music, the cinematography, the pacing, the music. I said the music twice now. It's just everything about this film is chef's kiss. Now, even though I'm praising this film, you might go, wow, he loves this film. Shouldn't it be at number 1? Nah, because there's other films I like. But this one definitely gets a masterpiece for Martin. I almost said Martin Scorsese, which I did for what's his name again? Not Chris Nolan. Yeah, no, Christopher Nolan. Yes, it sounded like a weird, it sounded like an actor. But anyway, I loved Oppenheimer. All of those things put together, you get a great film, and that is Oppenheimer coming in at number 4. Be sure to watch my review of that if you missed it. But coming in at number 3 is John Wick 4. And this one is, I had a hard time with this one and number 2 on the list, but this one, it's just signified, this one and number 2 signify what I love about action, and in this one, John Wick 4, it took what I loved about the first 3 and doubled down on it. And I know I'm doing a lot of this, but I loved it so much. Oh man, it had so many great action sequences. Dude, there was the horse scene, and then there was this falling down the stairs scene, and there was this epic shot up and down in this room. It was like a video game shot, and I'm just like, dude, they can't get better than this. And there's this scene with the painted black when he's going around in Rome and he's shooting everybody in the car. I'm like, painted black, and it was in French, and it was so dope. It was so awesome. And again, him in the concierge shooting everybody. Sometimes I love this, and I don't care you can't tell what's real and what's not real. If it's CGI or real stunt work being done, I love this film. I love John Wick, and I cannot wait for Ballerina coming next year. The Continental Show is alright, but this film is so good. I loved it so much. I can't get enough of John Wick 4, man. And I can't wait. They're apparently making a John Wick 5. I don't know. But John Wick 4, we have Ballerina to look forward to next year. You can watch John Wick 4 anytime you want. And I just love what they did with this movie, man. It's so good. All the scenes. It's heartbreaking that what we saw at the end of the film. But hopefully we can get more of this world because I love it a lot. And John Wick 4 is at number 3. So let's get to my last 2 of the year. Number 2 is Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. And this movie is so good, but at the same time, I'm left wondering, how can they how can they go forward and make the next one even better. And I know that's something that everybody wants, especially for Marvel, their favorite franchise, and in this one, no exception, that people, this one made a lot of money, but many people did not go to see this film because it was like, it didn't do that well at the box office as people were hoping, and people were like, oh, it's a fail. Now, this is not it's not a fail. It's just not what it's just not what the studio expected. And I think Tom Cruise definitely heavily promoted this film. It's his own like company, and I love the stunts going into this. I love that train sequence. Oh, I lost my mind at the train sequence. The airport scene is so tense. That car chase scene in the middle of the film is tense, amazing. Loved it. Love this film from beginning to end. The fact that Elsa dies in that little sword fight because Tom Cruise is trying to run and find her, and then she's dead in that alley on that bridge. It's like, oh man, tense. But with everything that ensues in this film, with the key and the face swapping and the masks and all this, it's so good in everything. But what can they do in the next one to make people come back? Because it's been delayed from 2024, and now it won't be on my top 10 of the year of 2024, but it might be in 25. But what can they do to make people get interested in the next film? Because if this one didn't do what they're expecting, how can they go, oh, well, shoot, our next film isn't as good, guess we're not going to make any money. Like, I'm just wondering, but at this point, I'm not going to sit here and debate that. But this film is just so good. Love everything about it. Like I just mentioned a second ago, all these scenes, man. I've been watching them so much. Every time it's on digital, since it's been on digital, I keep going back and just watching the moments. The airport moment, oh, so good. That bomb is tense. That car chase scene with Pom Klementieff in it. Oh, I love her. It's too bad she might be gone. And then the whole train sequence at the end, it's so thrilling. I love that they brought back a train sequence all the way from the first one back in the 80s. So good. So memorable. The train moments in superhero movies, and now we got one Mission Impossible. I love it so much. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 is my second favorite movie of 2023. Now, without further ado, my favorite movie, my number one movie of 2023 is Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. That's right, I just love this movie. I cannot get enough of Pooh and Piglet going around going on everybody, and seeing the blood going, no, not blood, of course, that's not what it really is. Just kidding, everyone. My favorite movie of the year is Across the Spider-Verse. Let's go. Man, I have been so, well, I already made a review, so you know how excited I am. Look at this Spider-Man logo there. You know how excited I am to talk about this movie. I get so pumped. And it's so unfortunate that the next one got delayed from March and we don't know when it's coming out now. Hopefully in 25. I would love it if it was 24. But it has to be 25. And if it's later than 25, it'll be a little bit sad. But hopefully we're crossing our fingers for 25. So anyway, Across the Spider-Verse, man. I am telling you right now, with high certainty, this is my own biased opinion, but when the Beyond the Spider-Verse comes out, that this will be my favorite and the best trilogy of all time. I am sorry, but that's how I feel right now. Because this Into the Spider-Verse was highly praised. This one is highly praised, especially by me. I love Across the Spider-Verse. Everything they've done, the animation in it, the music in both of them, the Gwen's arc, Miles' arc, all the other Spider people. We got Spider-Man India, Professor Parker. We have Hobie Brown, Spider-Punk. We have the Spot villain. We have Miguel O'Hara. We have Spider-Woman. We have Ben Reilly. We have all these. We have the Spider Society. We have the parents' relationship. We have this little Lego scene. It's awesome. We have these Easter eggs. We have the Prowler, live-action Prowler. And then we have Miles in this other universe now. The end scene with him, with other Miles Morales as Prowler. Oh, which I call in the movie. I said, that's going to be Miles Morales as Prowler. And then it happened. And I was so happy for myself. I had goosebumps. and everything. And I loved watching this film over and over. It's so good. The music incorporated in the scenes, because the first one is so dope. This one is so dope. And I can tell you right now, the fact that we have more time to wait for the next one, this is going to be, this Across the Spider-Verse is like Empire Strikes Back, and the next one is going to be like Return of the Jedi, and we are going to have the best, not only best animated movies, but the best trilogy of all time, I can tell you right now. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is my top 10 movies of 2023, and very soon after this video, maybe it maybe happened before, it's going to happen after this one, I can tell you right now. After this video, I'm going to be sharing you my top 10 most anticipated list for 2024. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy this list. Let me know down in the comment section below what your top 10 movies of 2023 is, or yeah, what your top 10 movies are of 2023. And don't forget to like, subscribe, follow me at Boba Fett Jedi Master. Links down below. As always, don't forget to like, subscribe, follow me. Keep calm, play Lego, watch stuff. Peace out, everyone.